Welcome, baseball fans, to ACTV for Game 2 of this doubleheader featuring the Adrian College Bulldogs and the Kalamazoo Hornets. The Bulldogs took Game 1 5-0 after a huge fifth-inning rally of 2 outs. Tommy Parsons had the complete game. We move on to Game 2 to see who will win another.
Thank you, Robbie, for that.
Almost got through that. Anyways,
Great
Jason
gourmet.
Schroeder on the mound for the Bulldogs. I believe last week you described him as effectively wild.
Yes, Schroeder this year started 3 games, 2-0 on the mound, 18 and a third innings pitched, as a 1.47 ERA, 16 strikeouts, but also 10 walks. But, you know, we like to use the term effectively wild because sometimes it's harder to hit the guy that you don't know where it's going to go as soon as he releases it than the guy that you know is going to pump strikes all day. So we'll see if he can keep his mojo rolling here and pick up another W against the Hornets.
So leading off for the Hornets in game number 2 is the right fielder Jordan Wiley. 1 for 3 in the last game with a single, a ground out, and a fly out. As Jason Schrader gets down to work. Ooh, and hits him for the first pitch of game 2.
Like we said, effectively wild, but I don't know how effective that one is because he just put the guy right on first base.
So that's going to bring up the number 2 hitter, who was the last game's pitcher, Ryan Orr.
Orr had a great game up until the 5th inning, was mowing everybody down, had a perfect game going into the 4th. Just kind of lost his movement, couldn't put anybody away. Bulldogs took the game, but he's playing second today in this game. Giving Wiley a few minutes to walk that one off.
Yeah, he definitely took a hard one right on the side.
Can't rub dirt on it either unless he goes out to the mound.
No, not at all. Throw over by Schrader, nothing doing. There's a ball on the outside corner, 1-0. Orr going to try to take his frustrations out from the last game in his hitting.
Orr solid at the plate, has a .341 average.
There's a hard shot up through the right side, and that's going to be a base hit for Orr.
Looks like he can do it on both sides of the ball there, pitching and hitting.
So just like that, the Hornets have runners on first and second, nobody out to start this second game. Frankie's going to make an early visit out to the mound.
This team is definitely no slouch with the sticks.
So
Go ahead, Robbie.
I was just going to say up now for the Hornets is the center fielder, number 19, Ian Kobernick. Corners pulled in. There's a bunt, but foul out of play.
Looks like he was trying to run down to first base before he even had the bunt down.
So Hornets going to try to take an early lead here after getting shut out in game number 1. The ball high and in. Brings the count to 1-1.
Schroeder's definitely going to have to hone it in here. Don't want to give the Hornets more opportunities than you can afford. They'll definitely stick one to you.
There's a strike down at the knees, 1-2.
Hornets had opportunities to score in the first game. 3 different innings, but just couldn't get anything scratched across. Parsons did a nice job in that game of keeping them at bay in tough situations, so we'll see if Schroeder can keep that momentum in tough situations going.
Checks the runner at second. There's a pickoff throw, but nothing doing. That crowd out on the hill has gotten huge since the first game.
Looks like they've had a little fun out there. See the sparkling of some aluminum, I think, out there.
Enjoying this nice Saturday afternoon, first day of April.
Always a nice time at the Nick out on the hill.
There's a line drive out of play on the right side.
You know, I've never actually caught a game out on the hill, but I feel like it's quite the party. You know, you got the music bumping, the beverages, the food, the camaraderie. Just wait until couch day, then it'll be packed out there.
That ball fouled out of play. Count remains 1-2.
You know what they should do out there? Like at the Little League World Series with those cardboards sledding down the hills. They should try that out there. Could make a little bracket-styled tournament out there.
Something you should go suggest to them. There's a ground ball down the left field side. Steps on third for out number 1.
It's a foul ball there, Bob.
There's another foul ball, and the count remains 1-2.
You know, you would be one of those fans at a baseball game who's leaning over the wall, grabbing a fair ball. Jumping the gun there.
I misread the hand gesture.
You just got to watch it, man.
I know. Don't know where my head is this game.
This must be out on the hill with all those other people.
The shiny cans are distracting my gaze. Checks the runner at second, the pitch, and that ball's going to be in the dirt, 2-2. Kobernick 2 for 3 in the last game with a double and a single. Trying to keep the hot stick going here. There's a little bloop just over Killinger's head. And everybody's going to be safe. Runners had a hold up, but they'll make it in time as it kind of fluttered around out in the outfield. And just like that, the Hornets have the bases loaded with nobody out.
Schroeder got the ball in on Kobernick there, able to muscle it out just out of the reach of kill. Looked like he might have had a force at second, but unable to handle the ball once he got to it. So just like the first game, there's a little bit of a jam for the Adrian pitcher. We'll see if he can get out of it.
It's going to bring up the third baseman, number 13, Jack Clark. Clark 0 for 3 in the game number 1 with a couple of strikeouts, trying to break this thing open and scratch across the first runs of the game 2. Takes a ball up high from Schroeder, 1-0. One thing I've noticed about Schroeder is that he's taking a lot more time than the pitchers in game number 1.
Which might actually be tougher on a base runner. Not that anyone can steal here, but definitely harder to get a jump off of somebody who's holding the ball so long. We'll see what he can do here. Bases loaded jam.
This is the pitch. A big swing and a miss by Clark, and the count goes to 1-2.
Nice little breaking there, it looked like, by Schroeder, getting Jack Clark out in front of that one.
Infield and middle infield and double play depth. Schroeder delivers the pitch. A little bit high, and the count's going to go to 2-2.
Hornets this inning doing a nice job of staying patient up there, not swinging at anything that's not close. Know that Schroeder has some control issues, so they're not going to try to push the envelope in terms of putting something in play. They'll take the free base if they can.
There's a ball in the dirt, blocked by Resto. Just like that, the count's going to go full with the bases loaded, nobody out. Got Wiley on third, Orr on second, Kobernick on first. Here's the pitch. A foul ball straight back. Count remains the same. A big swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout for Schroeder for out number 1.
Nice pitch there by Schroeder, just blowing Clark away with that up high fastball.
That's going to bring up the first baseman, number 23, Connor Grant. Grant 0 for 2 in the last game with a ground out and a fly out. A double play ball would be huge for the Dogs right now. It's a ball up high, 1-0.
No, I'm looking through these stats on the website, but they don't have his ground ball ratio. So that might be something we look into adding here.
You're the sports management major. Maybe a little side project. It's a strike on the outside corner.
I mean, these are the things, you know, enhancing the broadcast here. Little tidbits of information we can sneak in there. I can tell you that the Hornets have grounded into 11 double plays coming into this game.
There's a ball up high, moves the count to 2-1. Bulldogs trying to escape the early first inning jam. Bases loaded, only 1 out.
Grant this year has grounded into 2 double plays, so we'll see if we can get him to roll over on one.
There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Here's the pitch. A ball in the dirt, and again it goes to a full count.
Nice block there by Resto. One of the toughest types of pitchers to catch. Just how it can be hard on a hitter picking up where the ball is going to go. Same issue with the catcher back there. You don't know what's going to happen as soon as he lets go of that ball, so you're going to have to stay on your toes. Make sure you just keep it in front of you.
There's a ground ball. Hayes off of his glove. He's going to get it out at 2. They're not going to get anything else. Doro attempts to catch the runner off guard at third, but the Hornets are going to score. It's 2 outs for the Dogs, and it's 1-0 Hornets.
Hayes had a little bobble on that backhand, but able to get the force at second. Doro looking to nab the runner at third. Darnell off the bag, but doesn't look like he was off far enough to get him, even if he was at the bag.
I'm not sure if they would have been able to turn 2, even if Hayes fielded it cleanly with Schroeder having to go cover first.
Yeah, I was hitting the hold Hayes did a nice job of getting over there, but
There's a ball high, 1-0. Runners on the corners. And up now for the Hornets is the shortstop, Mitch Vancouvering. Takes a big swing there, 1-1. Vancouvering 0 for 3 in the last game with a pair of strikeouts. A little off speed there, but it's just a smidge high. Brings the count to 2-1. There's a foul ball out of the stadium. 2-2. Should Vancouvering get on, that would bring up the DH, Alex Foltz. Another pitch just misses up high, and that's going to bring the count full again.
Dogs have some action going in the bullpen. Don't have my binoculars, so I can't see who it is, but Schroeder has thrown a lot of pitches this first inning.
Comes the pitch. And a little check swing dribbler down the first base line. Hayes is going to tag the runner for out number 3.
Little excuse me swing there.
So a bit of the rough inning for Schroeder, but he escapes with only 1 run. We go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Hornets. You're watching Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Hornets score 1 in the first inning as we head to the bottom of the first. And on the mound for the Hornets in game number 2 is Aaron Schwark.
Schwark, 3 games started this year, 1-1 and 14 2/3 innings. It's a 4.91 ERA, 14 strikeouts to 8 walks. So we'll see what the Dogs can do against the lefty today.
And leading off for the Bulldogs is their speedy center fielder, number 21, Ian Mikowski. Ian 1 for 3 in the last game, but a big 2 RBI double in that huge 5th run inning. Huge 5-run inning in the 5th.
It's your comm major for you.
So Mikowski takes a strike to start the count at 0-1.
You know, for being a communications major, I think you know how to talk a little better there, Bob.
It's a broad major. So there's a drag bunt by Mikowski down the first base line, and nobody's over at first to cover. It's a leadoff single for Ian Mikowski. Beautiful bunt there.
Surprised that the Hornets were so caught off guard by that. It's not unusual to see Mikowski bunt.
I don't think he could have put that in a better spot. Right off the bat, just drags it right down the first base line. So that's going to bring up the second baseman, Brian Killinger. Killinger also 1 for 3 in the last game with an RBI single in that 5-run fifth. He shows bunt but takes a ball in the dirt, 1-0.
Mikowski has 7 steals on the year, so he is definitely a threat to run.
There's a bunt by Kill down the first base line. There's a dive, safe at first. And a full-out effort by Brian Killinger.
Hard to tell from here if the first baseman, Grant, had the tag on him, but looks like the umps are going to talk it over.
And they're going to call him safe.
Nice slide there by Kill to get around the tag. 2 early bunts here, and now the Dogs are threatening early.
Kalamazoo coach and players want a little bit of an explanation. It's going to be safe. It was already a great sacrifice bunt to begin with, but then to be safe on it too, that just adds a little gravy on those mashed potatoes.
Somebody better get a spoon.
So that's going to bring up the shortstop, number 2, Ryan Doro. The Dogs trying to scratch a couple runs, and he shows bunt. Pulls back for ball number 1.
Doro had that big RBI single to put the Dogs up by 5 in the last game, cap off that 5-run inning.
So for first baseman playing in. As Schwartz starts but steps off, checks the runners. And there's a strike on the outside corner, even the count at 1.
Looks like this game's home plate umpire a little more generous with that outside corner of the plate.
Schwartz checks the runners, the pitch, and a foul ball out of play by Doro.
This game pace for this second game is definitely a lot slower than the first game.
Which is something we saw during the home opener, too.
Must just be how Schroeder likes to work. These aces really like to just pound the plate.
Doro with a little tapper up second base for out at second. It's a fielder's choice. Killinger's out at second. Mikowski will advance to third. And the Bulldogs have runners on the corners with 1 out.
Doro probably wants that one back. Ball looked a little too far off the plate. Stuck his bat out there and tapped it. Second baseman gets the run over the third, though, now. So there are runners on first and third.
That's going to bring up the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 0 for 3 in game number 1. Chance to drive in a run here. So take a strike on the outside. 0-1. Schwartz throws over to first. Mikowski thought about it, but he's going to go back to third.
We saw that last week against Olivet. Pickoff throw to first. Mikowski took home.
There's a hard ground ball. to the shortstop. Flips to second for 2. Relay. Safe at first. Mikowski's going to score, and this game's evened up at 1 apiece.
Hayes gets out in front of that one and rolls it right to the shortstop, but able to beat that one out. Hit a little too softly. Close play at first, but weren't able to get the third out of the inning.
Nice try by the Hornets middle infielders. Even have a chance at that. So there's a strike on the outside corner for Gunnar Rainey. Gunnar run 1 for 3 in the first game. Swings and misses and brings the count to 0-2.
Gunner's been batting in the 7-hole the last few games, but Dad flip-flopped him and Tristan for this game. Gunner's on a little bit of a hot streak. See if he can ride that.
It's like foul ball. There's a pitch up high, 1-2. Short checks the man. There's strike number 3 in the dirt. Oh, but the catcher's going to trip up. And the first baseman can't handle the scoop. He's going to be safe at first.
Looks like Garwood might have rolled his ankle on that one.
You got to hope he's okay down there. Going to try to walk it off. Bit of a weird strikeout play. Ball in the dirt. Gunner didn't take off. Catcher had enough time, but when he slipped and rolled his ankle, he spiked it. First baseman wasn't able to handle it. Now we got runners on first and second with 2 outs.
Not sure if Garwood and Rainey thought that he might have caught that ball. Both kind of stood there for a second. When Garwood popped up to make the throw down to first, stumbled a little bit, put his throw right in the dirt. First baseman not able to handle it.
There's a strike on the outside corner for the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. There's a ball in the dirt, evens the count at 1-1. Darnell 1 for 3 in the first game. Trying to scratch across another couple runs for the Dogs. Give them an early lead. He fouls that one back into the screen, and it's 1-2.
Looks like he might have got tied up a little bit on that swing. A little awkward looking.
Hayes on second, Rainey on first. Short checks the man. Steps off, but nothing happening.
Darnell, a sophomore business major from Northville. His favorite food is chicken noodle soup.
That's a classic.
It is. Not my favorite, but I mean, I'm not here to judge. There's a lot of information on these player profiles, but can't get me a simple pitcher ground ball ratio. We'll have to look into that one. See if Duke can drive in this run here.
Here's the pitch from Schwark, a ground ball. Soft tapper. First baseman's going to cover, flipped, and he's out at first on the close play. So there's out number 3, but the Bulldogs are able to scratch across the run. It's all knotted up at 1 apiece after 1. We head to the top of the second. You're watching Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Jason Schroeder goes back to work here in the top of the second. 1-1 here in game number 2. Schroeder, a little bit of a rough first inning, had the bases loaded, a couple full counts, but able to get out of it relatively unscathed.
Yeah, the young pitcher on the mound, a little too wild that first inning, got himself in a little bit of a jam, but able to come back and limit the damage to 1 run.
So the DH, Alex Foltz, takes the ball high. There's another ball inside, 2-0.
Foltz, the catcher in the first game, went 1 for 3 with a single.
And Schroeder is definitely setting his own pace out here today. Ooh, and another hit by pitch. That one right up on the shoulder blade. So just like the first inning, the leadoff man gets hit by the pitch and will take his spot over at first.
Yeah, it's nothing personal on the part of Schroeder. Just has trouble really toning it down, putting it across the plate.
But, at the same time, Hornet players can't be very happy about that.
I mean, that was pretty close to the head. Not intentional, but you never want to see your own guy get hit.
And there's a strike fired across at the knees. 0-1 to the catcher, Brett Garwood. Didn't necessarily agree with that call. There's a foul ball out of play on the left side. Little pick throw by Schroeder. First base runner, not too far off the bag. There's the pitch. Another ball up high. Evens the count at 2 apiece.
Garwood, a senior from Dexter, batting 160 on the year. Scored 7 runs, driven in 1.
There's another ball up high.
Dogs have action in the bullpen again. Schroeder really having trouble putting it across the plate today. Don't want to take any risks with this big series.
Another ball high, and this is going to run the count full 3-2.
You got to wonder how long Rainey's going to leave his starter out there. Just looks like it might not be his day today.
Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Frank can't squeeze it. Count remains at 3-2. Bulldog bench trying to fire up Schroeder. There's a little bloop out to shortstop, right to Ryan Doro for out number 1. Got that one in on the hands.
Looks like it ran in on Garwood there. Wasn't able to get the barrel around on that one. Little dink shot out to Doro.
So Fultz will have to hold that first, and now there's still a runner on with 1 out, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, David Crocked. Crocked 0 for 3 in the last game with 3 strikeouts. Trying to get his first hit of the day. There's a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Schroeder checks the man over at first. There's a ball a little high, and it's 1-1.
Shadow's starting to creep here on the field. Don't think it'll affect the hitters too much, at least not for now.
There's showing bunt, but nothing doing. It's going to move the count to 2-1. Darnell playing in to protect the bunt. There's another pitch low and inside, and the count moves to 3-1.
Very slow game pace from Schroeder, really taking his time here.
It's interesting to see how some pitchers love just a fast pace and some pitchers love just taking their time out there. It's a ball inside, and it's a walk to put runners on first and second with 1 out.
Looks like Rainey's coming out to have a word with his pitcher on the mound here, Schroeder, trying to settle him down.
There's no doubt he has some good stuff today. It's just trying to find the strike zone.
Definitely a little more erratic than Coach Rainey would like. Hornets doing a good job of not expanding the strike zone. That could be an issue sometimes with the hitters when you get a pitcher like this. You start to help them out by expanding the strike zone, and that's why they can be so effective. But if you just stay patient and just let him get himself into trouble, you can really do some damage against him. It's all about having an approach at the plate. If you can just wait on this guy and wait for your one pitch and not expand the zone, good things will happen. If you help him out and start chasing balls off the plate, then bad things will happen.
So up now for the Hornets is the right fielder, Jordan Wiley, hit by a pitch in his first at-bat this game. There's a soft tapper down the left field line, but foul. breeze starting to get a little cooler here as the sun's starting to go down just a tad. Still a beautiful spring day.
Maybe chilly, but for the players down on the field with the sun shining down on that turf, it's got to feel pretty nice.
Schroeder keeping an eye on that runner at second. It's a pitch inside and high. It's 1-1.
A lot of these Kalamazoo batters asking for time but not getting it.
Foltz on second. Crocked on first. The pitch. Another ball up high, and it's 2-1.
Gotta wonder how much longer Rainey's gonna let him out there. These Hornet hitters are just not chasing anything. They're just letting him pitch himself right into trouble.
Another ball off the plate, and it's going to go to 3-1.
Wiley, a sophomore outfielder from Rochester Hills, Michigan, went to Rochester Adams, played on that field a few times.
Foul ball out of the stadium. And again, we have ourselves a full count. Yeah, Rochester Adams, very nice school over there.
Nice little baseball field down there. Little rocky in the infield, but, I mean, for a high school field, it's pretty nice.
There's a line drive into left field, a base hit. Werner's going to hold at third. And the Hornets once again have the bases loaded with only one out.
Wiley does a nice job in that at-bat of working the count, getting a pitch he wants and putting it right in the hole.
Here comes Rainey, and it looks like Schroeder's day is going to be over. It's not his afternoon. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Bulldog baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball. Now pitching for the Bulldogs is number 3 freshman Spencer Ford.
Ford, in 4 appearances this year, has pitched 8 1/3 innings. He's given up 9 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 5, walked 2, and has an ERA of 3.24. So we'll see if he can get out of this bases loaded jam here in the top of the 2nd inning.
Now up for Kalamazoo, the second baseman Ryan Orr singled in his first at-bat. Trying to regain the lead for Kalamazoo. There's a ground ball. Doro steps on first for out number 1 and got him at first for out number 2.
Taylor made nice throw by Doro.
So 1 pitch for Spencer Ford, and the Bulldogs get out of it unscathed. We head to the bottom of the 2nd. It's 1-1. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball. 1-1 here in the bottom of the 2nd. Bulldogs get out of the bases loaded jam unscathed, and up now is Tristan Richardson. He's going to take a strike at the knees to start the at-bat.
Richardson was 0 for 2 in the last game, had a nice sacrifice bunt, though.
There's a ball down low. There's a little blue pit into left field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Richardson will hold up at first, and it's a leadoff single for the Dogs.
Off the bat, it looked like Croct had a chance at it, but the ball just kept tailing towards the left field line and finally dropped in for Richardson.
And up now for the Dogs is their charismatic catcher, Frank Resto. Had a big hit back in game number 1. Showing bunt. Down the first base line, but foul.
Frankie looks like he's stabbing at that one a little bit. Didn't really absorb the ball there.
Third baseman playing in now to protect against the bunt. There's a strike on the outside.
Looked a little down and out from up here, but again, not going to have to go with the best judgment of the umpire.
So 0-2 on Resto. Schwark making sure he stays in Richardson's mind. Not letting him get too comfortable over at first. There's a ball outside, 1-2 on Resto.
Now, it says on Frankie's bio that his favorite book is The Great Gatsby.
Really?
Yes.
Not peg him as a Great Gatsby guy. Oh, and a check swing, but he's going to ring him up for strike 3.
Frankie not agreeing with that call. Might have gone around. Don't know if he called it on the location or if he called it on the check swing.
So 1 out for the Dogs, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, McCoy Drzwicki. Just takes a ball down low to start the at-bat. McCoy 1 for 2 in the last game. It's an RBI single back in the 5th. Schwark trying some off speed, but nothing doing, and it's 2-0.
McCoy, a senior out of Toledo, Ohio, went to St. Francis, forgive me if I say this wrong, DeSales High School. Majoring in criminal justice with a minor in marketing. Here's a fun fact. His uncle was a pitcher for the Atlanta Braves from 1977 to 1980.
Really? Schwark again fires over to first.
Kevin Below. Learn something new every day about these players.
Small world. There goes Richardson down to second, and he's going to be out by a mile. So a nice throw down to second base.
Not sure if Richardson missed a sign or if McCoy missed a sign. Usually on a hit and run, after 3 or 4 steps, the runner will look in, which Richardson did, so might have been a little bit of miscommunication because Richardson did not get the best jump on that one.
There are now 2 outs for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 2nd. Drzwicki's going to draw the walk. Garwood's throw is right on the money, though, either way.
Couldn't have asked for a prettier throw. Just drop the glove right there, and he slides right into the tag.
So now up is Ian Mikowski. Had a drag bunt single his first time up. He's going to try it again, but this time just dribbles in front of the catcher.
Safe.
Oh, and they call him out at first on a close play. So that's it for the Dogs here in the bottom of the 2nd. We head to the top of the 3rd. Scores knotted up at 1 apiece. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV 1-1 as we head to the top of the 3rd. Number 33, Spencer Ford, pitching for the Bulldogs, came in the last inning and got a 1-pitch double play to end the inning. There's a ball inside. Start the at-bat at 1-0. This game, a much slower pace than the first game. Through 2 innings and spent almost an hour already. So there's another ball down low, 2-0. Another ball in the dirt, and it's quickly 3-0 on the center fielder, Ian Kobernick. Singled his first time up. Fires a strike in there, 3-1. That ball sails inside, and it's a leadoff walk for Kobernick. That's going to bring up the third baseman, number 13, Jack Clark. Struck out back in the first inning.
Quite a change in story for the Bulldog pitchers this game. Parsons had one hit batter in his outing. So far today, we have 2 walks and 2 hit batters, so struggling to find the zone. It's the Dogs.
There's a strike on the outer half of the plate. Ford also taking his time out here. So Resto goes out to have a conversation with him. Middle infield and double play depth. Darnell shaded just a tad in. So pitch out, nothing doing. Count goes to 1-1. The crowd out on the hill is holding up strong still. Throw over to first.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, there's a bit of a situation back on campus with the whole power outage, internet outage. So enjoying themselves out there on the hill, staying away from that mess on campus.
Another strike. 1-2 on Jack Clark.
You know, the weather called for clouds today, but it's really nice outside.
Just a few wisps here and there, but nothing too much. And Clark way ahead of that one, and it's a strikeout for Spencer Ford, and there's one out in the inning.
Clark had a big series when they went down to Arizona, but has cooled off since they've come back. Hit 250 against Albion. Struggling a little bit today against these Adrian pitchers.
So that's going to bring up the first baseman, Connor Grant. Fielder's choice back in the first inning, but drove in the run on that play. A throw over to first.
Kobernick has 7 steals on the year, so he is a threat to run, but don't know if they want to test Resto's arm back there.
Ooh, and a hit by pitch. And that did not feel good. I can't imagine. Third hit by pitch of the day.
You're a former player there. You've been hit a few times. How did it feel? Did you like it?
Never felt good.
I didn't think so.
I'd get hit in the armpits, though. I was a very unorthodox player. Reason number one that I'm in the booth and not on the field. So the Hornets now have runners on first and second. With only one out.
That was the third hit batter this game by Adrian pitchers. 4th total in the day.
This is the shortstop, Mitch Vancouvering, takes ball 1 on the outside. Grounded out to the first baseman his first time up. And drops a strike in there, 1-1. Being hit by a pitch, it doesn't feel good, but you also are kind of like, yeah, I'll take my base now. And then if you get a bruise, that's even better because then you get to show off to people. It's a win-win. Well, win-win loss, I guess. A big swing by Vancouvering, 1 and 2.
Well, when you get hit by a pitch, it's not like you're getting hit in like a bicep or something where you can just kind of show it. Usually there are areas that are covered up by clothing.
But if you got a bruise, you got to flaunt it. Then again, I took pitches off the forearm. You can show off forearm bruises. Not that they're very common.
Nice stop there by Resto. No, if there was a proper way to get hit by a pitch, Robbie here definitely didn't know the technique.
This is true. This is very true.
Like, it was incredible to see some of the places you ended up getting hit.
Fouled out of the stadium.
I mean, the object of the getting hit by a pitch is trying not to get hit, and you kind of spun into it.
Kids should not learn from my techniques as a baseball player. They were...
Think Hunter Pence, but worse in terms of awkwardness. And I say that with love.
It's a ball in the dirt. The count runs full. I was effectively weird. I don't think there's another way to put that. It's like Schroeder's effectively wild. Some people, they just have their techniques.
Their tendencies.
Their little idiosyncrasies. Here's the pitch. It's a tapper down the third base line. Darnell charges, throw to first, and a nice play by Darnell. Runners will advance to second and the third, but there are now 2 outs, and real nice play.
Yeah, nice job by Darnell coming in and charging that ball, making the off-balance throw. Strong throw to first to get the runner.
Get a timeout as Spencer Ford has to readjust the uniform. Got to look good out there.
Well, if you look good, you feel good. You feel good, you play good. And if you play good,
they pay good.
Except in college. They're still amateurs out here, but they'll play good. So then they'll play more because coaches will be happy and they'll want to put them in the lineup.
Wise words of future Hall of Famer Torrey Hunter. It's a soft tapper again to Darnell, who's going to charge. Can he do it twice in a row? He can!
Nice play. Strong throws both times.
So the Hornets can't score during the top of the third. We'll head to the bottom of the third. It's 1-1. You're watching Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Bottom of the third, 1-1 is your score. And up to bat for the Bulldogs is the second baseman, Brian Killinger. bunt single back in the first with a beautiful head-first dive into first. Don't see that often, but he made it work.
Sometimes you got to dive into first to get around the tag, and he did just that.
He takes a strike on the outside corner. There's a ball down low. Evens up the count. Another ball down low. Killinger, a senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, to Northville High School. There's a ball inside and moves the count to 3-1.
Killinger is an athletic training student here at Adrian, so hopefully he can help out those KZoo batters that were hit so far in this game.
There's ball number 4, gets away from the catcher. Killinger's just going to take the base at first, not try anything extra. So now up for the Bulldogs is the shortstop, Ryan Doro. Fielder's choice his first time up.
Yeah, Doro chased an outside pitch his first at bat and just kind of dinked it over to second.
Fouls that one off the shin. Have to walk it off. That can never feel good.
I mean, anytime you get hit by something,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not going to feel that great.
just below the knees, evens up the count at 1 apiece.
Quick breeze here in the booth, trying to take my papers on the field.
There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Over to second for 1, relay. And it's a double play by the Hornets.
Yeah, Doro again reaching out for an outside pitch, gets out in front and just rolls over on it. Going to have to be a little more patient. He's going to be swinging at the outside pitch. He's going to have to drive that one into right to do anything with it.
So that's going to bring up the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. Also a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Fouls that one back.
Hayes is a junior transfer from Adrian, went to Jackson College previously.
It's a ball up high, 1-1. 2 outs on the Dogs. Base is empty. There's a hard ground ball down the left field line, base hit. And it's off the fence. Hayes is going to go into second, and he's in with a double. That took a weird ricochet off the fence out there.
Yep, Hayes does a nice job of sneaking that one down the line. Kalamazoo left fielder Crocs thought it was going to get down the line, but you have that fence down there jutting out. Hits that and bounces away, gives Hayes enough time to motor into second for a double.
So now there's a runner aboard second for Gunnar Rainey. Trying to give the Dogs an early lead here. There's a ground ball through the hole, base hit. Hayes is going to round third. He's going for home, and he's safe on the slide. Gunnar Rainey with a big RBI single with 2 outs here, and the Dogs lead 2-1 in the bottom of the third.
Sneaking it through the left side hole, driving in Hayes. That's why Coach Rainey put his son in the 5 hole today, this second game. And it looks like that move paid off.
That's going to bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. He looks at a strike. It's another strike. Crosses the outside corner. Coach Rainey doesn't like that very much. Count goes to 0-2.
Couple borderline pitches. Looking a little low, but umpire decides they're not.
There's a ball in the dirt. Count goes to 1-2. Another ball in the dirt, evens up the count. So should Darnell get aboard, that'd bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson.
Darnell not only right on top of the plate, but his back foot is nearly out of that box.
There's a soft tapper down the first base line, but foul. So count remains 2-2. Rainey at first, 2 outs. There's a ball hit over to the shortstop, who will flip over to second for out number 3. Bulldogs scratch across one more run. They lead 2-1 after 3. We'll be back with more Bulldog baseball here on ACTV. Top of the 4th here at good old Nicolay Field. Bulldogs lead 2-1. Spencer Ford gets back to work out on the mound. There's a strike at the knees for catcher Brett Garwood.
Garwood had that little tapper out to Doro back in the second.
There's a ground ball over to Killinger. There's out number 1. So that's going to bring up the left fielder for the Hornets. David Crocht walked his first time up. It's a ground ball. Nice backhand by Dora over to first, and there's out number 2. So 3 pitches, 2 outs for Ford here in the top of the 4th. That's going to bring up the leadoff man, Jordan Wiley. 1 for 1 in the game with a hit by pitch and a single.
Ford now has 4 straight ground ball outs, so he's done a nice job of settling down, going right after these Kazoo hitters.
He fires in another strike, 0-1. Curveball just doesn't snap off and hangs high, brings the count to 1-1. Ball just slow, and it's going to bring the count to 2-1.
Close pitch there. Looks like it might have caught the bottom half of the zone, but home plate ump disagrees.
So he fouls that one back over the visitors' dugout.
Of course, I'm being biased here. Got to root for the Dogs.
It's the pitch from Ford, soft tapper. Doro coming in, bare hands, and can't handle it. It's going to be infield single for Wiley here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Nice try by Doro, but just couldn't handle it.
Wiley pounds that one into the ground. Slow roller, do or die by Doro. Couldn't get the handle on the ball.
That's going to bring up the second baseman, Ryan Orr. Grounded into a double play his last time up. Singled back in the 1st. Ford snaps throw over to 1st. Runner is off for 2nd. The throw from Resto is high, and he'll be in safe. Nice jump by Wiley over at first base.
Second stolen base of the day. That gives him 20 for the season.
Orr with a chance to drive in a run here with 2 outs. There's a soft tapper to Darnell. Gloves it. And he's safe at first.
Couple bad breaks for the Dogs there. Ford's getting these ground balls, but hit too lightly to do anything.
Nice attempt by Darnell, but Orr beats it down the line, and there are now runners on the corners with 2 outs. It's going to bring up the 3-hitter center fielder Ian Kobernick. Kobernick 1 for 1 in the game, singled back in the 1st, walked his last time up.
First and third situation, got to think what Adrian wants to do.
He fires a strike across the knees, 0-1.
If Kobernick takes off to 2nd, do they want to try to nab him here with 2 outs? Could always back pick to 3rd, so interesting to see what they're going to do. Excuse me, Orr down at first base.
Ford taking his time. Snap throw over to 1st, and it gets away from him. Wiley's going to score from 3rd. Orr is going to go all the way to 2nd, and it's a tie game.
Just a little bit of tough luck baseball here for the Dogs. Ford trying to keep him at 1st, maybe keeping the force at 2nd alive, but puts that pickoff throw in the dirt. Hayes can't handle it down at 1st.
So Ford now going to try to get out of the inning without giving up the lead. So there's a ball in the dirt. It's 1-1.
That's where Ford's going to have to settle down and just keep going back to what he's been doing. Pitching really well to contact and getting those ground balls. Like we said, these last few base runners has just been tough luck.
A big lead. Steps off. Snap throw to 2nd. Oh, and he slides into the tag. It's going to be safe. Doro gets spiked right in the shin.
Trainer's going out to check on Doro.
We're going to take a quick break here on ACTV, and we'll be right back with more Bulldog action. Ryan Doro walks off. The cleats high slide into the shin. Just an awkward play all around. Nothing really anybody could do there.
Yeah, we're getting a little too far off second there. Schroeder makes the throw. Basically carries Doro right into the runner, sliding back at second. But good to see that he's staying in there.
This count remains 1-1. The center fielder, Kobernick. He snaps a curveball in there, but it misses. 2-1. Two outs on the Hornets here in the top of the fourth. Another snap throw. Got him napping again, but just on the wrong side of the bag, and he's back in safely.
Few opportunities here by the Bulldogs today. Pickoff throws down to second. Catching the runners napping, getting a little too far off first, but all their throws so far have been on the wrong side of the bag.
There's a line drive into left field, a base hit. Orr is going to score from second on the throw off line, and it gets past Frankie. Kobernick's going to go all the way to second, and the Hornets take a 3-2 lead here in the fourth. So just some unlucky breaks for the Bulldogs. The Hornets are back on top.
Yeah, Kobernick takes advantage of that hanging pitch, puts it right into left field. Strong throw by Gunner, but carries it across the line. Or coming down, bearing on Frankie. Might have misjudged, or not misjudged, might have lost the ball. And because of that, Kobernick able to move up to second base.
It's going to bring up the third baseman, Jack Clark. Takes a ball up high, 1-0.
So it was a strong throw by Rainey, but started off foul side of the line, kind of tailed back in. Tough job for Frankie to get across and catch that one, especially with the runner bearing down on him at the plate.
There's a ball low again, and it's going to go to 2-0. Runner on second, 2 outs. Hornets try to tack on another run. There's a strike, 2-1. Clark 0 for 2 in this game with 2 strikeouts. There's a high fly ball into left center field. Mikowski has it measured. There's out number 3. Hornets score a pair in the top of the fourth. They take the lead 3-2. We'll be back with more baseball action here on ACTV. Shadows starting to creep across the field here at the Nick as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Tristan Richardson going to lead off for the Bulldogs. Singled his first time up, but then was thrown out, trying to steal second. Aaron Schwartz goes back to work. There's a strike, 1-1. There's a line drive. Fair down the right field line. Richardson's going to take the turn at first, but it bounces right back to the right fielder, and he's on first base with a leadoff single.
A little bit of a lucky bounce there, keeping it in front of the right fielder. Richardson unable to advance to second, but nonetheless, Dogs have their leadoff guy on first.
This game has really been a back and forth, just grinding it out today. Kind of game that we were expecting to see. So that's going to bring up the catcher, Frank Resto. Struck out his first time up. There's a line drive. Stopped by a nice play by the second baseman, and they're going to get the double play. Thought it was going to head up the middle, but a nice little slide on the knees from the flip over to the shortstop.
Another example of Orr's versatility down there at second. Nice range, showing off his range going up the middle.
So that's going to bring up the designated hitter, McCoy Drizwicki. Walked his first time up. Takes a big swing and a miss for strike one.
You know, a lot of times when college players come in,
Another big swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
and they try to play two positions, part of the reason is that it doesn't work out is because they're not skilled enough, or it's hard to play both. But Orr's doing a nice job of both pitching and playing the field.
That ball by Schwartz sails outside, 1-2.
Not only is he one of the top pitchers in the league, but one of the better hitters. And right there with that play, showing off his skill with the glove.
There's a fly ball into right field. Wiley with a little bit of a late break, but he'll pull it in for out number 3. So the Bulldogs end this inning scoreless. We go to the top of the 5th. It's 3-2 Kalamazoo. We'll be back. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball. Top of the 5th here. 3-2 Hornets. As the first baseman, Connor Grant, leads off the inning. Drove in a run his first at-bat, hit by a pitch the last time up. Spencer Ford. It's back to work. There's a fly ball into right field. Richardson gives it a run. That's out of play.
Something with the name. We've both said Richardson. Hard to differentiate his first name with his last name.
Tristan Richardson.
There we go. If you say it 10 times, It'll be stuck in your head.
It's not that it's a bad name. It's that when you're trying to say it fast, it just doesn't happen. It's a ball high. It's 1-1.
Dogs have some action in their pen right now.
There's a line drive in the left field, but right at Gunnar Rainey, who hauls it in for out number 1. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Mitch Vancouvering, 0 for 2 in this game with 2 ground outs. Ground ball over to Hayes. Flip on to Ford. And there's out number 2. It's going to bring up the designated hitter, Alex Foltz. 0 for 1 on the day with a hit by pitch. And ground out to the third baseman. Ford fires a strike in there.
This home plate umpire has a very energetic strike call.
But really, those are the best home plate umpires. Unless you're on the other side. And there's another strike, 0-2.
No doubt about it. You're not questioning if he called it a ball or a strike, because he's going to let you know. He's going to let the whole park know.
Ball up high brings the count to 1-2. And they're all different forms. You got the high strike calls where they bring their pitch up just a little bit. You got the guys that have the low voices when they call strikes.
You have the grunters.
Foul ball down the first base line.
Just kind of make a one-syllable sound. Just really a guttural sound when they do it.
You got the forceful pointers. You've got the soft pointers.
And you've got the guys that want to change their mind halfway through their call. Those are my least favorite.
Those are the ones we call the question marks. And another strike on the outside corner to ring them up.
Nice curveball there by Ford.
Quick inning by the Dogs. Hornets go 1-2-3, and we'll be back with more baseball action here on ACTV. Top of the 5th here. Hornets lead 3-2, and up now for the Dogs is center fielder Ian Mikowski. Bunt single back in the first. Grounded out his second at-bat.
Questionably looked a little close to safe as you can be without being out.
He takes a strike.
I think I messed that up. As close to being safe without being safe. What I'm saying is
Sure.
he should have been safe.
0-2 on Mikowski. There are ways to explain that, and I'm not sure if that was one of them.
You know, trying it out. Still new at this broadcasting gig.
Check swing by Mikowski. It's going to be strike 3, but he's going to get down to first base as the ball gets away from the catcher, Garwood. So the second time today a Bulldog has got on board via the strikeout.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
That's going to bring up the second baseman, Brian Killinger. Walked his last time up. Schwark throws over to first. Now riddle me this, Cody. Down by 1, no outs, and a lefty on the mound. Do you think he should go?
I mean, that last pickoff, he kind of telegraphed his throw. But, I mean, still with the lefty on the mound, it's always hard to get a read off of, so maybe not just yet. I don't know if you want to risk it, but he definitely has the speed. So Garwood's been having a little trouble back behind the plate, so you might just wait for one to get by him before you move up.
Killinger showing bunt again, but nothing doing. 2-0. Ryan Doro on deck for the Bulldogs. Another bunt. Killinger puts it down the first baseline. And he's going to beat it out. Second time today for Killinger, and there are runners on first and second with nobody out for the Bulldogs.
Hard bunt, but there by Kill. Maybe a little too hard, but first baseman fielding. Schwark wasn't over at the bag in time to beat him out, so Killinger once again turns a sack into a base hit.
Another bang-bang play down there. We've seen a lot of those this game.
Off the bat, I thought he might be out. He bunted that one really hard.
Forceful, but effective. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Ryan Doro. Grounded into a double play his last time up, trying to drive in a couple runs. He takes a ball just off the outside corner of the plate. Schwark trying to work through a jam here in the bottom of the fifth. It's a ball high, 2-0. And Schwark has been pitching a very good game so far.
Not a lot of strikeouts, but he's been pitching to contact, and it's been working out well for him.
Yeah, he's given up 7 hits so far, but only 2 runs to show, so he's been getting out of jams. He's going to try to do that again right here. There's a ball down low, and it brings the count to 3-0 on Doro. Like we said, this could be the series of the year between these two teams, two of the top teams in the MIAA. Doro flicks one into right field, but that's going to get out of play.
Interesting to see green light there on 3-0. Doro his last 2 at-bats. Got a little out in front of Schwark's pitches, so we'll see if he can wait back on one here and drive it.
Definitely has power to all fields. So another ball in the dirt, and that's going to load the bases. Well, we've been waiting for it all day. The waffles are in the toaster. We're going to see if Hunter Hayes can make a continental breakfast. But first, the Kalamazoo coach is going to come out for a meeting.
Better go get that orange juice and put it on ice.
Orange juice, got to get the whipped cream, the syrup.
Powdered sugar.
This could be something good for the Bulldogs.
It's been a while since I've eaten. Hopefully they bring out the spread. What do you think that toaster is dialed to, heat setting? Think a 1, a 2, 3?
Let's see. With Hunter Hayes up, the first baseman who doubled his last time up, you got to think that it's dialed pretty high.
Maybe a 2? Hits another double. It might even be a 3. Doro's got sneaky speed down there at first.
Takes a ball down low. 1-0. Ball up high, 2-0. No walk wouldn't be bad here.
1 run to tie the game. Schwark suddenly having a little trouble finding the strike zone here.
Pitch, foul ball into the catcher's glove. 2-1.
Hayes might have pulled off a little bit on that swing.
So it's the bottom of the 5th, and I believe that's when the Bulldogs start to have some action in the last game. That ball gets past the catcher, but it looks like it tipped off the umpire's shoe.
A little bit of help there
reach
by the home plate umpire. Had a second wall back there for that pitch. Mikowski unable to sneak across a run.
So 3-1 on Hayes. It's a pitch from Schwark. There's a line drive into the left field gap. Mikowski's going to score. Killinger's going to score easily. That rolls all the way to the wall. Doro's going to try to score from second. Here comes the throw in. And he is safe at the plate. It's a bases clearing double for Hunter Hayes. And the continental breakfast has been made.
We can bring out that orange juice now. Looks like the toaster was set on 3, bringing in everybody with that double.
Huge hit by Hunter Hayes, and the Bulldogs take the lead. It's 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th. And the 5th inning has just been magical for the Bulldogs here today.
Schwark just hanging that one. Hayes all over it. Staying in, driving it to the left field gap.
So that's going to bring up Gunnar Rainey. Still no outs for the Dogs. So he's going to try to drive in another.
Bat boy for Adrian, so excited he forgot to get Hayes' bat.
Rainey an RBI single his last time up. Going to try to repeat that. So he shows for bunt down the first base line. They're going to get the out at first, but Hayes is going to move up to third, and a nice sacrifice bunt by Rainey.
The Dogs, not only this weekend but last weekend, have just done an amazing job at getting the bunt down. So I don't think anybody's popped up a bunt in any of the games that I've viewed so far.
That is really the mark of a good team.
Definitely. If you can bunt, you can make a lot of things happen.
So Hayes is now on third with 1 out, and that's going to bring up Dugan Darnell. 2 ground outs in this game. Schwark fires one in there. Eight hits on the day for the Dogs. Ooh, and there's a ball, or a strike, excuse me, on the outside corner. Oh, and 2 on Darnell. There's a ball in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher, Garwood.
Infield drawn in for Kalamazoo.
There's a line drive, and that's going to get through the infield, and that's another run for the Bulldogs. RBI single by Darnell Dugan. The Dogs now lead 6-3.
Darnell doing an excellent job with 2 strikes. Able to sit back, rope one right past Dorr, who's drawn in at second. And these Dogs have now scored 9 runs today in the 5th inning.
That's going to bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson. Trying to keep the train moving here. Takes a ball outside. Richardson 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Watches another ball go by. Pitch from Schwark. Strike at the knees, 2-1.
Richardson, a freshman from Harperwood.
Tapper down the first base line, but foul. Runner on first, 1 out. There's a ground ball up the middle. Base hit off of second base. So Richardson is aboard now. The hits keep coming for the Dogs. There's runners on first and second with only 1 out.
3rd hit of the game for Richardson there. Looks like Rainey's move of moving him down to the 7th spot is really paying off for him. Might have taken a little bit of pressure off him, let him just do his thing.
Here comes the Kalamazoo coach out, signals to the bullpen, and that's going to be it for Schwark today. So we'll take a quick break, come back with more baseball action here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball. Now pitching for the Hornets, number 48, Ryan Franklin. Now batting for the Bulldogs this is the catcher, Frankie Resto. Grounded into a double play his last time up. It's the ball high, and that's going to move the runners up as it goes to the backstop and off the catcher's glove. So not a good first pitch for Franklin. And now Resto has an opportunity with 2 runners in scoring position and only 1 out.
Franklin is a freshman from Brentwood, Tennessee. He has 8 1/3 innings under his belt. 2 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, has a 2.16 ERA, 5 appearances. Looked like he might have snapped that curveball off a little too much.
There's a ball down low, and count's going to go to 2-0. Pitch from Franklin. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit. 1 run is going to score. Going to hold the runner up at third, but it's an RBI single by Frank Resto, and the Bulldogs continue to tack on. It's 7-3 here in the bottom of the 5th.
It's what Resto does best, staying within himself, just pokes one out to right field.
It's going to bring up the designated hitter, McCoy Drizwicki. 0 for 1 in the game with a walk and a fly out. Richardson on third, Resto on first. Still only 1 out for the Dogs. There's a ball that sails high, 1-0. Bulldogs have some action over in their bullpen. Got to wonder if Ford will come out for another inning.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. They still have 2 games against the Hornets tomorrow, so you don't want to go to your big guns too soon if you don't have to.
Sounds like they're getting a little rambunctious over on the field. Or on the hill, excuse me.
I hope they're not on the field.
Another disco demolition night. There's a ball in the dirt, but Richardson won't be able to advance. Nor will Resto.
Frankie got a little too late of a read on that ball down at first base.
3-0 on Drizwicki. There's a ball inside. And once again, the toaster is loaded with some waffles. Let's see if we can have breakfast for a second time today.
I mean, breakfast is my favorite meal. Never go wrong with a nice breakfast spread.
And up to bat is the chef, Ian Mikowski. We'll see if he can get that 5-star rating. Showing bunt. Takes the ball high, 1-0.
I heard he is a prospect for a few Michelin stars. Which, for those of you that don't know, cooking, it's a pretty high honor.
Showing bunt again. That one's going to cross the plate for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Corners drawn in for Adrian. Looking to get the out at home. Cut it off. Maybe get the second out at first.
There's a little bloop into left field. It's going to hang up for out number 2, and it's not going to be deep enough. So 2 outs for the Dogs, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Brian Killinger. Waffle still loaded in the toaster. We'll see if Killinger can serve up breakfast for the second time this inning. Drizwicki on first, Resto on second, Richardson on third. There's a ball up high and almost at the head. 1-0. Killinger, the 11th batter to bat this inning for the Bulldogs. Comes the pitch from Franklin. The ball that runs inside, and it's 2-0. Big hole on the right side of the infield. Killinger watches a strike. 2-1.
Two outs in the inning. Base hit should score Resto if he goes off the crack of the bat.
There's a ground ball up the middle, but fielded by the second baseman. He'll flip to second for the out. And that will end the inning. But the Bulldogs, another huge fifth inning for them. They score 5 and take the lead 7-3. We'll be back with more Adrian College Bulldog baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Top of the sixth. Bulldogs lead 7-3 after a big fifth run inning. Spencer Ford gets back to work on the mound. Throw 1-2-3 inning his last time out. And up for the Hornets is the catcher, number 10, Brett Garwood. As he watches first pitch strike go by. Hornets with 6 hits on the day today. There's a line drive. Grounder. Killinger for out number 1. So after Ford had a little bit of a rough beginning to his day, he settled down nicely. He's now retired 5 in a row.
Doing a really nice job of getting these Hornet hitters to put the ball on the ground.
And there's a line drive. We spoke too soon, but no, we didn't. Hangs up just long enough for Gunnar Rainey, and there's out number 2. It looked like a gap shot when it came off the bat, but, you know.
Looked like Rainey got a pretty good read off of that.
Tailed in just enough for him to make the grab, and there's 2 outs here, 2 quick outs for Spencer Ford.
Dogs' defense has been steady all day.
We're back to the top of the Kalamazoo lineup. It's the right fielder, Jordan Wiley. He watches a ball. Wiley, an infield single last time up, also stole a base. It's a line drive foul on the left field line. Shadows creeping ever longer here at the Nick. Game started. They were on the foul side third base line. Now one of those lights Shadows is already reaching all the way to first base. Ball just misses low. Really weather-wise, though, first two series here could not have asked for better days.
Both series had their dates moved around as well, so nice that they're able to pick and choose around these weather forecasts.
2-2 on Wiley. 2 outs. The ball sails high and it moves to a full count. On deck is Ryan Orr. Should Wiley get on? There's a grounder to Doro, one hopper. And another 1-2-3 inning for Spencer Ford as he retires 7 in a row. We move to the bottom of the 6th, 7-3 Bulldogs. You're watching baseball here on ACTV. Ryan Franklin back to work in the bottom of the 6th. Up now for the Bulldogs, Ryan Doro. Walked his last at-bat and later scored a run on that big double by Hayes as he swings and fouls one back. Lends a helping hand to the umpire. Retrieves his own foul ball.
Does it all.
And there's a strike that just crosses the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Pitch from Franklin. There's a ground ball up the middle. Shortstop gets it on the hop. And there's one out here in the bottom of the 6th. So it's going to bring up the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 2 doubles this game, including the big 3 RBI double his last time up.
If I remember correctly, he made us that really nice continental breakfast.
Master chef up here. He shows bunt, takes strike 1.
Trying to take advantage of the third baseman Clark playing back.
There's another fly ball. That's going to get in the gap again. Hayes on his way to second. That's going to go off the wall. He's going to take a turn at second, but it's his 3rd double in a row. And he continues to tear the cover off the ball today.
Yeah, it looks like Franklin hung an off-speed pitch there, and Hayes was all over it, crushing it into the left center field gap. Couldn't tell if that was a curveball or a changeup, but whatever it was, Hayes was sitting on it.
So runner aboard at second base. Only 1 out, and that's going to bring up Gunnar Rainey. Sacrifice bunt his last time up. Franklin checks the runner at second. Strike one. There's a ground ball high hop right to the shortstop. A nice pick by the first baseman for out number 2. It's going to move Hayes over to third base.
Ball hit softly enough for Hayes to move over to third.
It's going to bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell. RBI single his last time up. Later scored a run. He watches a strike go by on the outside. Bulldogs trying to extend their lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Another strike. 1-2.
2 pitches low and away. Darnell in the past has done a great job in these 2-strike counts, so.
Takes the ball just off the plate. Evens the count up at 2 apiece.
Close pitch, but gets the benefit of the call.
Ball high and runs the count full.
And again, we say it every at-bat, it seems like, but Darnell doing a great job of working the count.
And he draws the walk, ball 4. No head down to first base. So Darnell draws the 2-out walk. There's now runners on first and third. That's going to bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson.
Richardson having a day so far, 3 knocks.
Now batting the right fielder, number 16, Tristan Richardson.
Snap throw down to third, but nothing doing. Darnell had a little bit of a fake takeoff, running secondary lead over at first.
Yeah, Garwood thought Hayes was a little too far off the bag, keeping him close. Almost threw it into left field.
Awkward swing. Doesn't go all the way around, but goes just enough for strike number 2. Darnell off, and that's going to get through the hole and drive in a run. An opposite field single for Tristan Richardson. That's 4 on the day. And the Bulldogs now lead 8-3.
I don't know if you saw, Robbie, but right before the pitch, Clark took a couple steps, cheating back towards third. Momentum carrying him towards the third base bag, and Richardson just sneaks it right by him.
The Adrian runners definitely starting to get in the heads of the Kalamazoo pitcher and catcher. That's going to bring up the catcher, Frank Resto. RBI single his last time up.
Now batting for Adrian, the catcher, number 7, Frank Rusto.
Ball down low. 1-0. Very happy to hear Frank's walk-up song. I walked into the Rush Mac Lab when he was editing it. It's pretty catchy.
Now, did he just do his song or did he do all the songs?
No, he did all the songs.
Perks of having a comm major on your team.
Fouls that one back to the net. So 1-1 on Frankie. Runners on first and second, 2 outs. As Franklin delivers the pitch. Fouls that one back out of the stadium.
At least he hit one out.
Are you going to call a shot now? Or are you not feeling it this at bat?
I'm not feeling a home run, but I certainly think he might poke one over Orr's head at second base.
Huge gap out there in right center. Ball outside, evens the count at 2. There's a ground ball back up the middle base hit. Darnell's going to score, and it's another RBI single by Frankie Resto. 9-3 Bulldogs.
Frankie has done a great job these last few games with the stick. That one he just shoots right back up the box. So doing exactly what he knows he needs to do. Knows he's not going to hit anything out of the park. Just staying within himself. Getting those singles when he needs to and driving in these runs.
The fans out on the hill showing their approval. So that's going to bring up the designated hitter, McCoy Drzwicki. Walked his last time up. As runners on first and second.
Frankie almost took Franklin's ankle out on that hit up the middle. Making him dance a little bit.
McCoy fouls one back. Franklin checks the runner at second. It's the pitch. Another foul ball back out of play.
Franklin might have gotten away with a hanger there. Just got underneath it, did McCoy.
Pitch. Ooh, just holds up, and it's 1-2.
McCoy looks like he's sporting those goggles out there, those clear shades.
Another foul ball back out of play.
Looks like he might want that one back if he could. It's two that Franklin might have gotten away with. McCoy maybe overswinging there, looking to put one on the roof again, but you overswing, your mechanics go right out the window.
There's a shot down the left field line and a fair ball. Richardson's going to score. Frank's got to hold up at second, but it's a hard RBI single by McCoy Drzwicki, and the Bulldogs are at an even 10.
Out in front of it a little bit, but hits it hard and able to sneak it right by the third baseman and keep it fair. Left fielder Croc got a nice hop, ricochet off the fence to keep Frankie that second, but nonetheless, the Dogs put another run on the board.
And that is it for Ryan Franklin. We're going to take a quick break here. 10-3 Bulldogs. We'll be right back with more baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Adrian College TV for Adrian College Baseball. Up 10-3 right now over the Kalamazoo Hornets. Ian Mikowski up to bat, and now pitching for the Hornets is John Kunick. There's a ball that goes to the backstop, and the runners are going to advance. And just like that, Mikowski has 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, that looks like a ball Greenwood should have caught. Might go down as a pass ball, but looks like he should have at least kept it in front of him.
So what do you got for John Kunick?
Kunick is a freshman from Ann Arbor, went to Pioneer High School. 2/3 of an inning under his belt, has not given up a run.
There's a strike on the outside, 1-1. Resto on third, Drizwicki on second. The ball high, 2-1. He drops a curveball in there for strike 2. Kunick trying to stop the bleeding here.
He's got 1 strikeout in 2/3 of an inning, so his strikeout per 9 is off the charts.
There's a little bloop by Mikowski. He's going to hang up just long enough for the left fielder to haul it in, and that's the 3rd out. The Bulldogs tack on 3 more runs this inning. It is 10-3 after 6. We'll be back with more action here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball. Top of the 7th here. Adrian leads 10-3 over Kalamazoo. And up to bat is the center fielder, Ian Kobernick, trying to close the gap.
You're jumping the gun there, Robbie. This is second baseman Ryan Orr up to bat. Must have marked your score sheet wrong there.
I must have. That's why I don't get paid for this job.
Orr's got 2 knocks today. Fouls that one off his shin. Did you diagnose your problem there, Robbie?
No, but we're just going to roll with it. Fouls that one back 1-2.
Nice change of pace there by Ford. Orr's a little out in front of both of those.
Ground ball to Doro. Routine play. And out number 1. Spencer Ford picking up right where he left off. Really had a couple good innings after a rough start.
Just pitching to contact, letting his guys work behind him. Coach Rainey's got to like seeing that.
He fires in another strike.
Keeping his pitch count low, doesn't have to go to his bullpen as soon.
Now the Dogs have somebody up in the bullpen just in case, but Ford keeps working this way. So the ground ball hit to Doro. Charging. Off-balance throw. And Hayes is going to finish him off with the tag. A nice play by Ryan Doro.
Nice play on both ends, Doro. Nice play to get to that ball in the hole. Off-balance throw. Hayes' presence of mind to come off the bag and put the tag on the runner.
So 2 quick outs on the Hornets, and that's going to bring up the third baseman, Jack Clark. Fly out and 2 strikeouts on the day. So that one just a bit inside, 1-0. There's a line drive into left field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Rainey's going to cut it off, so he's going to be held to a single. And the Hornets have a man aboard with 2 outs.
Nice hit there by Clark, but a nice job of by Rainey getting over there and cutting off that ball, keeping Clark to a single.
That's going to bring up the first baseman, Connor Grant. Take that back. It's a pinch hitter. It's number 27, Todd Bonavere, a junior out of Waterford, Michigan. And a hit by pitch. Welcome to the game. So after 2 quick outs, the Hornets now have 2 men aboard.
That is their 4th hit batsman of the game. They're going to need a lot of ice on the bus ride home.
Now up for Kalamazoo is the shortstop, Mitch Vancouvering. 3 ground outs on the day. There's a ball that misses low, 1-0. Another ball low. Frankie snapped down to second and just safe. It was a good idea, but just a tad late.
Yeah, Clark just able to put his hand back to the bag. Nice throw by Frankie. Nice thought, too. Vancouver comes into the game with 7 extra base hits.
Ford trying to work out of this jam. There's a little flare into right field. And Richardson hauls it in for out number 3. So Ford gets out of the jam, and the Bulldogs head to the bottom of the 7th, 10-3. If you're watching at home, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, and we'll rejoin you afterwards here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. A couple changes on the Kalamazoo side. Staying in the game at third base is Todd Bonavere, and now at first base is, don't want to get this name wrong, Drew Novetsky. Brian Killinger takes a strike to start the at-bat.
We do our best to get these names right.
Snaps a curveball in there for strike 2. Killinger a fielder's choice his last time up. See, fights that one off. Kunik trying to prevent the Bulldogs from tacking on any more runs here late in the game. There's a ground ball by Killinger to the shortstop. Vancouvering throws his man out for out number 1. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Ryan Doro. 0 for 3 in the game with a walk and a run scored.
Doro comes into the game with a 14-game hitting streak, now in jeopardy.
So he watches a ball roll by in the dirt, 1-0.
Doro this game looks like he's been out in front of everything, so rolling over on it.
Takes a ball inside, 2-0.
Sure he'll make the adjustment soon enough.
Another ball inside, but this one hits the inside corner, and it's strike number 1.
I don't know about that one. Looked like the same spot as the last pitch.
Kunik gets his sign. The pitch. There's a long fly ball down the left field line if it stays fair, but it won't. It's a foul ball.
Had the distance. Just a little too far out in front of it.
So Dora readjusts. We'll try to straighten that hit out just a little bit. Two and two is the count with one out. He fouls one down the third base line. Stay alive.
Kunik's thrown a few benders into this at-bat. Maybe trying to get Doro to roll over on one.
Another ball in the dirt, and the count runs full. And feel that normal depth. A big swing and miss by Doro. They're going to say he caught it. There's out number 2.
Nice off-speed pitch there by Kubik. Getting Doro to swing right over the top of it.
You don't see him strike out often.
No, it just does not look like he can time these pitchers up in this game.
So now batting for Adrian is the first baseman, Hunter Hayes. 3 doubles in a row. As he watches a ball go by. Cleared the bases in the bottom of the 5th inning. See if he can make it 4 doubles in a row. Or why not make it a homer?
I mean, the more the merrier.
See if he can give those fans out on the hill a souvenir. Watches another ball go by.
I'm impressed. I thought they'd be gone.
No, I think
Especially after that big 5-run inning, but
more have ended up on top of the hill since the game's been going on.
see a ball floating back and forth, people playing catch.
Three 3-0 on Hunter Hayes. Watches another ball go by in the dirt. Draws the walk. So Adrian has a man aboard with 2 outs. This catcher calls time to go talk to his pitcher. Up now for Adrian is the left fielder, number 10, Gunnar Rainey. Grounded out his last time up.
Putting outfielder number 10, Gunnar Rainey.
He watches another ball in the dirt. Start the at-bat 1-0. Kunik's having trouble elevating the ball this inning. Another ball low. It's quickly 2-0.
It's better to miss low than to miss up, because if you're missing up, there's a chance for the hitter to bang one right out of the park. So
Another ball a little higher this time, but still low, and it's 3-0 on Rainey.
that being said, you do want to throw strikes. So
Ball 4. It's 4 straight balls to Rainey, and it's 2 straight walks for Kunik as we have runners on first and second with 2 outs. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Dugan Darnell, who walked his last time up. Here comes the Kazoo coach, and he's going to signal to the bullpen. So we'll give the new pitcher a chance to warm up. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more baseball here on ACTV. Now pitching for the Kalamazoo Hornets is number 1, Brent Yelton.
Yelton in 2 appearances this year has 2/3 of an inning under his belt. He's given up 2 runs. So not too much work this year. Senior out of Kalamazoo.
Up now for the Dogs is the third baseman, Darnell Dugan, or Dugan Darnell. Either way you say it. Had a walk his last time up. He fires a strike at the knees. 0-1. And I'm just going to say it. That is not a delivery you see every day.
Now thrown across his body. Sidewinder motion. Breaking away from Darnell, so he might have to take that one the other way.
So that's a ball in the dirt, 1-1. It always amazes me when people have just really unorthodox deliveries, but they make it work.
Definitely, especially Yelton's delivery. It's something I've never really seen before.
So checks the runner at second. Another ball outside, and it's 2-1.
He kind of stops with his arm. He'll break with his hands and then kind of hold it there, and then he'll come through.
Just slings it across the strike zone like, here it is. Hit it. I dare you. There's ball 3 low. Bulldogs have runners on first and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, they lead Kalamazoo 10-3. 3-1 count on Darnell. There's ball 4. So Darnell is aboard with 3 straight walks. And that's going to bring up the right fielder, Tristan Richardson.
These KZoo pitchers having a tough time finding the strike zone the last few innings. That is now their 6th walk
But Cody,
since the 5th inning.
I believe that the waffles are once again in the toaster as Richardson looks at a ball low, and I think he's going to try to make a continental breakfast.
I mean, I'm pretty hungry, so let's hope so.
We've got 3 waffles in the toaster. Richardson watches another ball low. The way these Kalamazoo pitchers are pitching, though, might be on a low setting, maybe only 1 waffle right away.
I mean, if you have a little help there from them, you can make more and just takes less time. Or more time, excuse me.
So Richardson takes 1. Push the count to 2-1.
I don't know how it would take more time if it was real life, but this is baseball, so we'll do what we want.
Another ball in the dirt, and it's 3-1 on Tristan Richardson.
Kalamazoo in danger of walking in a run here.
A big swing by Richardson, and the count's full at 3-2. He pulled the trigger on that one.
Yeah, big cut and a miss there. So 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will be moving.
Here's the pitch. A big swing by Richardson.
Nice job by Yelton coming back.
So he gets some fishing. No runs for the Bulldog this inning, but they still lead 10-3. We go to the top of the 8th. And you're watching Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Adrian College Baseball here on ACTV. Spencer Ford out for another inning of work. It's 10-3 Bulldogs here in the top of the 8th. We've got a pinch hitter for Kalamazoo. It's number 11, Andre Gard, who played in the first game.
Guard 0 for 3 in the first game with 2 strikeouts.
He fouls that one back out of play. There's a ground ball to Doro out at shortstop. Throws on to first for out number 1.
A lot of action down at shortstop for Doro today.
It's going to bring up another pinch hitter. Number 39, Jack Dines, coming in for Brett Garwood to catch. He takes a strike on the inside corner. Ford pitches. A little bender, misses inside, and it's 1-1.
Ford has had a great outing, having to come in the second inning. He's still out here in the 8th. So
Big swing and a miss.
Rainey's got to
Strike
be
2.
Rainey's got to be happy with his pitcher's performance today, coming in after not starting and pitching all these innings, really coming up clutch.
Frank Resto calling a great game behind the plate, too. Ball misses low. He's still got those gold-plated cleats from last week. Sun's not as bright, though. There's a little flick in the left center field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. So, bloop single for Jack Dines, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, David Cracked, if that wasn't
Pinch hitter.
going to be a pinch hitter up there.
A lot of changes this inning.
So now batting for Kalamazoo is number 17, Stefan Leclerc from Delray Beach, Florida. Trying to get something started here for the Hornets. 1 out, top of the 8th, takes the ball high. Third base, shaded just a tad in against the left-handed hitter. There's a line shot into right field. Tristan Richardson giving chase to it, but it's going to be fair and off the top of the wall. And Leclerc is in with a double. Dines goes to third, and the Hornets have runners on second and third with only 1 out.
Nice way to drive that ball by Leclerc. Only 4 at-bats this year, but gets into that one. Richardson, nice job of playing that off the wall. And it looks like Rainey's going to his pen here.
So that'll be it for Spencer Ford, but a great effort. He came in the second and really shut him down after a little bit of a rough start.
Definitely did his job and more, so can't ask for anything more.
His teammates come out of the dugout to greet him. He deserves all those handshakes. So Adrian's going to make a pitching change. We'll be right back with more baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Now pitching for the Bulldogs is senior number 30, Shane Healy.
Healy only has 1 inning of action this year, but shut him down, it looks like. 1, 2, 3 inning. So let's hope he can get the final 2 outs of this one.
Runners on second and third for the Hornets, and up now is their leadoff hitter, number 25, Jordan Wiley. Couple hits today. Stolen base. There's a soft tapper down the third base line, but foul. Kalamazoo trying to close a 7-run gap. Got only 5 more outs to work with, though. There's a tapper to second base. Killinger charging. Goes for the play at first. That will drive in a run, but he gets the out for out number 2.
That's what you want to see. 8th inning, 1 out. Have runs to spare, so we're just trying to get the countdown to the final out here.
So an RBI for Wiley. The Hornets tack on another, and it's 4-10. That's going to bring up a pinch hitter for Orr, number 15, Nate Donovan, senior from Trenton. So there's a soft tapper to Healy. Easy throw to first, and Healy gets the job done. Hornets score 1, but they can't tack on any more. It's 10-4 after 7.5 innings. We'll be back with more Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Adrian College Baseball here on ACTV. Bottom of the 8th, 10-4. Bulldogs lead, and now pitching for the Hornets is number 31, Jordan Skidmore.
Skidmore listed as a third baseman pitcher, a freshman from Rochester, and this is his first inning of work on the bump for the Hornets this year.
Up to bat for the Bulldogs is the catcher, number 7, Frank Resto. 2 RBI singles, his last 2 at-bats. And he puts a charge into one down the right field line. Out of play.
I think it's time to call his shot for him. For the, what is this, the 5th time? 5th time's the charm?
5th time's a charm. There's a tapper up the middle.
That was a shot.
Skidmore blocks it with his glove and is going to throw over to first for out number 1. So the hill is becoming a little more animated as the evening goes on. So up now for the Bulldogs is the DH, number 31, McCoy Drizwicki. Also had an RBI single his last time up. It's 1 for 2 on the day with a couple of walks. So he watches one low, 1-0. Two and 0 on Drizwicki. Still that breeze blowing out to right field. There's a line drive up the middle, base hit. So Drizwicki's aboard with 1 out. And that's going to take us back to the top of the lineup. For number 21, the center fielder, Ian Mikowski. Mikowski hitless today. That doesn't mean he can not get into one. I take that back. He had that. Oh, that's right. He did have that really nice drag bunt single to lead off the game. He watches a strike go by. Can't read my own handwriting.
That's nothing new there, Robbie.
Should be a doctor. As
I
Laura
would
shakes her
not be
head.
your patient.
Takes a ball up high.
Mikowski, a bit of bad luck. A couple close plays at first that didn't quite go his way.
I wouldn't be a patient of me either. That would not end well. Ooh, strike just hits the outside corner. The count goes to 1-2. Skidmore would really like a ground ball double play here. And he might get it. A little tapper to first. Oh, but everybody's going to be safe, and he flips it away from the first baseman. Drizwicki's going to move to third. Mikowski is going to hold at first, and Adrian now has runners on the corner with 1 out.
Yeah, ball got by Skidmore. Donovan trying to get a little too fancy with the glove work there. Flips it away, allowing the runner to get over to third base, Drizwicki. So probably would have been best just to hold on to the ball instead of trying the fancy glove work.
We've seen that a lot this game. Both sides just hitting little tappers that are messing with the defense. As Killinger hits a single to left field, and Drizwicki's going to score. Adrian tacks on another, and it's 11-4 here in the bottom of the 8th.
So the Dogs get the run back that they gave to the Hornets in the top half of the inning, and Duro's got one last opportunity to extend that hitting streak.
So there's a chance to drive in a couple of runs as there's 2 men on base. Mikowski out at second, Killinger on first after the RBI single. So he watches a strike on the outside. Bulldogs 18 hits now in game 2.
A stark contrast from the first game today.
There's a drive down the left field line, a base hit. It's going to ricochet off the run. Mikowski's going to score from second. Killinger is going to move up to third. And Doro is in with the RBI double.
And with that, Doro has now hit safely in 15 straight games.
It's now 12-4 for the Bulldogs. And now pinch hitting is number 18, Brian Guck. He steps in for Hunter Hayes over at first base. So he watches a strike go by. So 1 out, runners on second and third.
Guck on the year is 10 for 41. He's driven in 8 runs, scored 3.
There's a chance to drive in a couple right here. Fouls that one back out of play.
Looks like the Dogs have a pinch hitter on deck in Aaron Ajrouche.
There's a tapper down the third base line, a foul. All of a sudden, the breeze has died down here.
It's the calm before the storm.
Guck watches one outside. It's going to bring the count to 1-2.
That bat that Guck has is looking a little too new and shiny. Put a little ding in it.
Not on that pitch, though, as he watches one in the dirt for 2-2.
A lot of these Adrian hitters going with the gloveless at bat approach.
That's how you become a one with the bat. Don't have that layer of glove between you. There's another one in the dirt, and it's going to run it to a full count. Something that the Adrian batters have done very well today. When they get behind 0-2, they don't just start swinging at anything.
Yeah, nice job of working the count. I think that's the biggest key to what's allowed them to score 5 in the first game and now 12 here in the second, and maybe more.
It's a high fly ball by Guck. Stays in the infield. Third baseman waves everybody up. And there's 2 outs.
Would have been a home run in an elevator shaft, but this is Nicolay Field, so it's just a pop-up to the third baseman.
So runners have to hold second and third, and up now for the Bulldogs is pinch hitter number 9, Aaron Ajrouche, better known as OJ.
OJ hitless in 5 at-bats this year.
There's no better time to get your first hit of the season than now. Skidmore fires another ball in the dirt, 1-0. Killinger at third, Dora at second. Another ball outside and in the dirt.
Now, according to OJ's profile, he's majoring in exercise science with a minor in sport management from Taylor, Michigan.
Watches that ball go by on the inside corner. Just misses, and it's 3-0.
Like teammate Frankie, he is also a fan of The Great Gatsby.
They must watch together. Team bonding activity. And there's a ball high, so Ajrouche draws the 4-pitch walk. And you know what time it is, folks. There are 3 waffles in the toaster. And pinch hitter number 39, Jordan Torrento, is going to try to make that continental breakfast. Watches a ball just high, 1-0.
Torrento's got 1 knock on the year, but that is a triple. Game against Olivet last weekend.
Another ball up high, 2-0. Skidmore gets the sign and throws. Another ball in the dirt. The count is 3-0. As the breeze starts to pick back up again, blowing out to right field. There's a strike on the outer half of the plate. 3-1. Killinger on third, Doro on second. Juice on first. There's a drive through the right field hole, a base hit. Killinger's going to score. Doro's going to try to score from second. Here comes the throw, but they're going to hold it up, and it is a 2 RBI single for Jordan Torrento. The continental breakfast has been made.
Nice job by Torrento, just sneaking it through that hole. Doro never stopping from second. Kazu had to cut that ball off. So, as Robbie said, we can have some brunch now.
Now batting for the Bulldogs, pinch hitting for Richardson is number 32, Jason Croce. Takes the ball. Croce takes another ball up high, and it's 2-0.
Croce 2 hits and 13 at-bats this year.
Bulldogs with an even 20 hits now. Three-0 on Croce. Pitch from Skidmore. Ball just hits the inside part of the plate, and it's 3-1. 2 outs on the Bulldogs.
Starting to hear some lazy chants from the crowd out on the hill.
It's getting to be that point in the night. Another ball in the dirt. Croce will take his base. The Kalamazoo coach comes out to talk to his pitcher. Pinch hitting for Frank Resto, that will be number 3, Dakota Carraro. First time he'll see action today. What do you think they're talking about out there, Cody?
Well, same thing as the second game of the Olivet series that was here. Probably telling them to just settle down. It's the 8th inning, has one more out to get. Doesn't want to go to his pen, use them up. They still have 2 games tomorrow, so just settle down, try to get your guy out because this is his inning to close.
Well, I hope Carraro went to chef school because there are 3 waffles in the toaster, and it looks like the Bulldogs are going to try for that continental breakfast again.
Looking for the trifecta.
He watches a ball down low. Carraro definitely has some pop in his bat. If he gets a hold of one, could be good eating for everyone.
He's got 1 home run this year, 9 at-bats.
Watch his ball just off the plate, and it's 2-0. There's a high pop-up on the right side. First baseman drifts over, and it's just out of play. So runners will return to their respective bases. Two outs on the Bulldogs. So he watches one sail outside, and the count goes to 3-1. Skidmore with the sign and the pitch. And that's up high, ball 4. It's going to bring in a run, and the Bulldogs now lead 15-4. So Carraro with the RBI. That's going to bring up a pinch hitter, but it looks like Kalamazoo's going to go to the bullpen. Now pinch hitting for the Bulldogs, though, is number 29, Colin Parcher. Parcher hasn't seen much action this year, but last year had some pretty big home runs for the Dogs. So we're going to let the new Kalamazoo pitcher warm up. We'll be right back with more baseball here on ACTV. Welcome back to Bulldog Baseball here on ACTV. Now pitching for the Hornets is number 20, Ryan Paul.
Paul is a sophomore from East Lansing, and this is his first bit of action here for the Hornets this season.
And as we said before, now pinch hitting Colin Parcher.
Also his first at-bat of the season.
And what better way than trying to make that continental breakfast? We've got 3 waffles in the toaster. He watches a ball low, 1-0. He's been warming up the griddle. We'll see if he can make all those waffles.
We'll see.
It's a high fly ball, but that's going to get out of play on the left side. One and one on Parcher. 2 outs. So he gets fooled by the off speed, and it's 1-2. 15-4 Bulldogs. They've scored 5 runs so far in this inning. Had an even 20 hits. Gets the ball inside. That's going to get back to the backstop, and a run's going to come in. Everybody advances, and it is now 16-4 Bulldogs as Torreno scores.
Hornets just struggling to find the plate this inning. At this point, probably just hoping they can get through this game as quickly as they can, get back on the bus, think about the 2 games they have at home tomorrow.
So Parcher now has runners on second and third, going to try to bring them in with 2 outs. There's a line shot up the middle base hit. 1 run's going to come in. They're going to hold the runner at third. It's an RBI single for Colin Parcher. Bulldogs lead 17-4 here in the bottom of the 8th.
Nice piece of hitting there by Parcher, just putting it right back up the box.
Now pinch hitting for the Bulldogs. It's number 11, Brady Wood, freshman from Frankenmuth, Michigan.
Wood 1 for 7 on the year, but that one hit was a home run down in Florida.
Watches a ball inside, 1-0. Another ball low. Is Paul having just a little bit of trouble finding the strike zone?
First outing of the year, just trying to work things out.
There's a high fly ball to center field. Has it measured. And retires him for out number 3. The Bulldogs score 7 runs that inning. We head to the top of the 9th to see if they can complete the 2-game home series sweep of the Hornets. We'll be right back with more baseball action here on ACTV.
He doesn't care.
Welcome back to Adrian College Baseball here on ACTV. Bulldogs lead 17-4. Now pinch hitting for the Kalamazoo Hornets is number 5, Josh Reuter. We actually played baseball with Reuter a couple years ago for the Livingston Storm. So he takes the ball outside, and he definitely has a pretty good bat.
He's a pretty steady player, so he swing it pretty well. Hit I want to say 287 for the Hornets last season. So
This time is called.
Dogs have a completely new infield and outfield, save Doro still at shortstop, and Healy still on the mound.
So Reuter watches the ball high, 2-0. Healy trying to finish the games off for the Dogs. Reuter fouls one out of play. Watches the ball high, and it's 3-1 on Reuter.
Dogs working with a 13-run lead here, just trying to get the last 3 outs of the game.
It's a high fly ball. Stays on the infield. Guck under it. There's out number 1. So that's going to bring up Alex Croct. Freshman from Grosse Pointe. And I'm just going to go on a wild hunch and say that he is David Croc's brother.
Can't confirm, but I'm also going to be with you on that hunch.
So he watches a ball outside, moves the count to 2-0.
No stats on Alex Croct, so this is his first at-bat of the year.
Healy floats a strike across, 2-1. Ball just misses on the outside, and count moves to 3-1. Finds the strike zone. Count goes full, 3-2. Fouls that one straight back.
Healy just needs to pump strikes here. Don't want to start walking guys.
There's a line shot up the middle, base hit. So Croc's aboard with 1 out. That's going to bring up number 27, Todd Bonnevier. Crowd starting to disperse out on the hill. Healy fires in strike 1.
Bonnevier hitless in 1 at-bat this year.
Ball down low, 1-1. Line shot just foul down the left field line. This count goes to 1-2. Ground ball foul. There's a line drive into the left field gap. That's going to get down. It's off of the center fielder's glove, but the runner's going to hold that second.
Woods bobbled that one a little bit out in center field, but Ajris was there to back him up, so runners stay at first and second. Healy's just got to bear down here and get these last 2 outs. Pinch runner at first base and Austin Straley.
There's a strike. 0-1. Ground ball would be real nice right now.
I concur. I think everybody's ready to cap this one off as a W. But
He watches that one in the dirt.
still have to grind these last 2 outs. Can't get too flat-footed out there.
And that's the beauty of baseball. You can't just run a clock out. You got to earn that win. Which is a strike on the outside corner, 1-2. A big swing and a miss, and it's a strikeout for Healy.
Nice pitch by Healy there, getting him chase one down and away. 2 outs now.
The Bulldogs are now 1 away from completing the home series sweep, picking up 2. Hopefully they pick up the 2 big wins against KZoo heading into tomorrow's doubleheader. He fires a strike in there, 0-1.
Definitely was not expecting a score like this in any game this series.
No, especially after the first couple innings.
Definitely took a turn for the worse for the Hornets, and
Swing and a miss had him fooled with that off-speed pitch, and it's 0-2. 1 away from completing the game. There's a ground ball down over to shortstop.
Nice.
and finishes it off. So the Bulldogs with a big win here today, 17-4, and they pick up 2 wins. And these could prove to be very big heading in to the later games of the season.
Definitely. Adrian coming in 3-1 in league play. Kalamazoo had a 4-game sweep against Albion. So these games, it's between these two teams. It's really whatever you can get, and getting these first 2 wins is going to be huge for the Dogs as they go into Kalamazoo tomorrow trying to pick up 2 more.
So the Dogs win both games today. 5-0 was your score in the first game. They just won the second game 17-4. Like Cody said, they're heading into Kalamazoo tomorrow. And what do you think that the Dogs have to do to win that game?
Basically, they just have to stay on the Hornets like they did today. So this second game, they got to a 3-2 deficit, but didn't let up on them. And you see the outcome. They won 17-4. So really just got to come in with the same energy, the same tenacity, and keep putting it on them. Don't let them take any of their situations or any of their if they get runners on, they got to score them. Lack of a better word there. But, yeah, they just got to play like they did today, and they should come out with 2 more wins tomorrow.
Well, as always, this has been Robbie Alexander with my colleague Cody Alexander. Hope everybody has a great night. And until next time, this has been Bulldog Baseball on ACTV.